you're one of the youngest people to have come and headed Guild. So how does it feel? I mean, running the whole production association, for producers, and it's a lot of responsibility and it's a lot of meetings. So how do you manage that along with all your work, and how does it feel to be there?
I quite enjoy it because you're in the thick of things. You're aware of everything that's going on within the industry. You're getting a chance to be able to contribute in your own way to being able to take things forward. And I've always enjoyed positions of responsibility in that sense. So it's something that I embrace. What's great is that I think we have a really vibrant, energetic bunch of producer colleagues that we work together as a team. I mean, I happen to be the president of the guild because you need one person to maybe coordinate and like sort of synthesize all the efforts to take them forward. But everyone's a significant producer in their own right, and we just work shoulder to shoulder to be able to take the agenda forward. And I think what I've always found has happened in the guild, and from the time of Yash ji, and from like of course Ramesh ji, who was such a wonderful president of the guild, and Mukesh ji, and everyone, the times that the most adverse circumstances actually tend to bring everyone together very closely, and then you're working hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder to take on the crisis. And I think that's what's happened right now as well. Everyone's really sort of pulling together for each other, and I'm really proud of the way the whole fraternity has come together to support the daily wage earners, to create standard operating procedures for how we resume shoot, to just really lend a hand of support to each other right now.
So can you kindly quickly just brief us on a few of the things that the producers are really doing right now for the daily wages? What have we really done for them?
Well, what we've done is we've set up a fund, and we've actually tied up with the Federation of Workers to be able to, via them, reach those funds to the most in need workers. And that's something that we've done very, very sort of systematically over the last few months. There have been very significant contributions from across the industry, and so we've ensured that money finds itself directly into the hands of the workers who are most in need, and the federation's been very helpful in that.
So how do you identify these workers? A lot of them have gone back to their hometown, or their villages and all, to actually be able to get their addresses, to know who are the ones who are needy. So how is that whole process looked into?
Well, what's good is that the Federation has got the details of each of their members. They've got their names, they've got their bank accounts, they've got, they have their details. And therefore, we've ensured that there's no overlap, because a lot of, artists have actually reached out to the Federation directly and are making payments directly as well. So we've ensured that they are the one-point contact, that they ensure that from their members, there's no duplication, because it's important to get the funds out to as many people as possible, rather than to the same set of people, so that whatever's coming to them from the guild does not get duplicated with what another artist or another producer has given them directly. And they've got the details of all their members, so it's going directly into their bank accounts.
Okay. Okay, I think we've talked about many things all around. I've also not asked you about that. You've not done just Hindi cinema. You've also dwelled in other languages. So do you find a difference between working in other languages cinema and Hindi cinema per se, or it's the same?
It's not the same, honestly. I think because you've grown up on Hindi cinema, you understand the texture and the tonality and the unsaid things that are probably just something that come to you instinctively. But when it comes to other language cinema, what happens is that you don't know a lot of the history of that cinema. You don't know a lot of the what they call the nativity, and therefore what will appeal to that audience that you might not think actually appeals to you or would appeal to a Hindi audience.
Yes.
And so especially when you're working in South Indian languages, for example, it's very important to have the right minds in the room, because you might be taking decisions based on your experience that might be completely contrary to what that local audience actually enjoys and the reason that they're coming to watch a film. So I find that shooting in the dark was honestly the one thing that one had to get over in order to really be able to make successful cinema in a language that's not your own.
How do you overcome that?
I think having a strong team that you can trust there, who have actually grown up on that cinema and who are able to speak your language as well as speak that language. And I don't just mean literally language, I mean the language of cinema as well.
Yeah.
And then so it's very important to be able to hire the right people to be able to do that for
We
you.
recently did produced in RS Entertainment. We produced something for Doordarshan, which was regional, and this was our first experience. We've never ever dwelled in regional, and so what we did do is we had a dialogue person from there sitting on the sets, every day, and also during the costumes, we hired someone who was a local from there. Even when we were writing the dialogues, we had someone who sat on the dialogues. So I think we just involved local people from there right from the inception stages. And I think that helped us a lot. So
Yeah,
basically, that's what you're also saying, that
absolutely.
even to take a subject, I think we should take the subject from a local person, because
Exactly.
he's writing from that mind,
Yeah,
and we are talking from, like you said, Hindi cinema perspective, but they may like a different genre totally, which we may not even be
absolutely.
aware of. So that is the trick. Yes, I totally agree with you. That's what we also did when we did our
Yeah.
first
No,
feature
it's
project.
very important. It's very important. Otherwise, you'll be making something which will be a khichdi of something that's neither here nor there, and you'll end up, not really being able to cater to that audience.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, it's really been great, huh? It's really been great talking to you, Sid, and I think we've touched on
Likewise.
many points. And if there's anything you would love to say to the people who are listening to us right now, any kind of a message, anything about the film industry, we would like
Yeah.
to. And
No,
you
I think
how before I finished that, you saw how we
sure.
had pitches today, and it took us such a long time because we are all adapting and moving into areas
Yeah, to this new
that we
world
have
that we're in
never
today.
ever done on our own. We are technically not that great. We are
Yep.
creative people, so it's really a challenge. So just what would you like to say to the people today?
I think it's about us all just hanging in there for now. I think the basic human need for entertainment is not going away at all. We know that our countrymen around the world want to be entertained, and they want newer and newer entertainment. They're not satisfied with what they've already had. They always want more. And I think it's just a temporary blip. It might be a blip that might seem like it's going to be lasting for very long, but in the overall arc of time, it's going to be a year or two, hopefully, before things move back into some sort of normalcy. But what I think we need to be happy about is that what we provide to people is not a need that's ever going to go away. It's
Hmm.
always going to be there. What platform we provide it on, how we provide it, how we're able to deliver it, those are things that might change. But the basic core function of what we do, I think, is not going anywhere. So anyone associated with media and entertainment right now might be feeling a little bit down and out. But I do think it'll be onwards and upwards quite soon.
Hmm. So there are some questions that have come. I was going to finish, but there are some questions that have come.
Sure.
There's an artist who's saying, how can an artist upskill himself during this COVID period?
There's some wonderful master classes that are available online.
Hmm.
I've heard about them. I haven't taken them, to be honest, but I intend to take some of them on direction, on writing, on producing, on acting. And I think it's a time when, and these are from people who are actually acclaimed directors, actors, producers, etc. So I think it's a time to actually spend enriching yourself. I mean, obviously, don't be too hard on yourself. Do the things that give you entertainment and help you through this time. But if you're talking about upskilling yourself, then those master classes are probably a good way to start in a way that's not going to impose too much of a burden on you, like sort of psychologically, right now.
Okay, there's another question we have, which is again from an artist, and she's saying that being an artist, she's gone back to her own state, and will obviously not be able to afford the cost of coming back and renting a place and staying, etc. How is she supposed to know when is the right time to come? Because unless work is enough, it's difficult for her.
Yeah. No, it is very unfortunate that she's had to do that, and I hope that she's well and her family are well back home, sort of wherever she is. It's tough to give a really straight answer to that. I don't really have the answer. I don't know when things will go back to some level of normalcy. It's probably safe to say that she should wait maybe another 2 or 3 months before she decides to come back. By then, hopefully, shoots in some shape or form will have resumed. We're hopeful that cinema halls in some states will have been reopened by then. And as she tends to see that maybe shoots are happening more and more, I'm not sure what discipline she's in, whether she's a writer, whether she's an actor, etc. But it'll be important to just see the way things are going now that she's taken the step of going back home. She should come back only when she senses that there's some sort of sense of normalcy creeping back in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so there are lots of questions, but I think we'll have to, because we started very late today, we'll have
Sure.
to wrap in today. But it's really been wonderful talking to you, and we've got lots of insights into the film industry, and of course, knowing a lot more about you. So we'll all know much more about you after this session. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your patience, for waiting till we kind of sorted the technical aspects out, and you were nice enough to still join us and do this.
Not at all, Kiranji. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Hope to see you soon, and stay safe and stay home.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
If you have liked our video, kindly subscribe. Press the bell icon so that you can get notifications about our latest videos. Like and share our video.